It is my pleasure and privilege to introduce this year's Helmerich laureate and to present this award, which is accompanied by an elegant crystal book and a cash prize of $25,000 to William Kennedy.
I'd like you to know I'm not here for the money. I was here for the book. I don't know who to thank. There's so many people. That's like an Academy Award thank you, but I'm going to go through it anyway.
Equal very fast, or try to be equal, to whatever the challenge is, whether it's interviewing, Elizabeth Taylor, and you haven't really seen her movies, and or the governor, or you're covering a disaster and you don't know what it's all about, or you get sent to a war zone, or what it might be. But these are, it's a great training ground for a writer. I just think it's the best. And so many wonderful writers in American history have come out of the newspapers. Stephen Crane and John O'Hara, Ernest Hemingway especially wrote about it, and Gabriel Garcia Marquez. So many writers have been journalists first and then moved very naturally into fiction. I loved it, and I found it very like journalism, you know. It's, matter of fact, when I was working on the Cotton Club with Coppola, we were really on heavy deadline. And we produced 5 scripts one weekend. It was unbelievable, the way he would tear a script apart after we'd finish it. Or, you know, he kept having new ideas of what he wanted to put into the script and where. And every time he'd change it, it would, you know, give a total new dynamic to it. But I would rewrite it, or rewrite it, and we'd print them out. And I can remember him one night saying, "This is the city desk," you know. Here we are, and we're turning it out, and it was like that. As fast as you could type, sometimes we'd have to produce it because he was in a rehearsal mode with the actors, and I was writing this stuff, and they were waiting on the scenes on the set for the scene, and I wrote one. It went on toward publication. And before I even was published, I had sold the Dial Press a draft of 100 pages of my next novel, which was Legs. So I was really on a roll, I thought. And writers never know for sure, because this is a very capricious business. It's not unlike the movie business. People are in power and they like your work, and then suddenly they're gone, and the next editor is not so enthusiastic, and so on. And that isn't quite what happened with Legs. It took me 6 years to write that book, and I wrote draft after draft that didn't work. And finally I delivered it, and all of the editors I had known who had been enthusiastic along the way were gone. So I left the Dial Press, and then the manuscript bounced around a couple of places, and then it was published by Coward, McCann, and Gahagan. And the next one went to Viking. It was Billy Phelan's Greatest Game, and then after that came Ironweed. And when Ironweed was published, I suddenly was discovered as if I hadn't existed before. It was as if I had landed from Mars with 3 novels under my belt, and 4 novels. And the reception was extraordinary and beyond what writers ever expect. You know? And from then on, I haven't had a problem in publishing my work, but life is very capricious, and I'm very cognizant of a line from Vladimir Nabokov, who said, "It's a short walk from the hallelujah to the hoot." And I know a great many writers who've had 3, 4, 5 novels published and now cannot get published. It's a very sad thing, because these are men and women who are have committed their lives to the writing of fiction, and it's a disaster for them. And what they do is they find small publication houses eventually. I know one. Writing one now with Eddie Burns. We're doing Legs. Eddie wants to make it as his next film, and Edward Burns, right? He has a new movie out, Sidewalks of New York, and Brothers McMullen, She's the One, Never Look Back. He was in Saving Private Ryan.
Is he co-writing the screenplay?
Yeah. And he'll direct it and play Legs, if we have our druthers, if we can, if we get the money. And it's very, very hard to transform a novel into a script. I mean, it's painful. You know, in Ironweed, which I love as a movie, I wrote the script on that myself, and we made a very fine movie, I think, with great acting. Jack Nicholson, Meryl Streep were both nominated for Academy Awards in that movie, and Tom Waits was wonderful, and Carol Baker.
Thank you for watching these video selections of the 2001 Distinguished Author Series. If you'd like to see these speeches in their entirety, please call the Media Center at 596-7933.